As Election Day gets closer, we are looking at voter turnout. CBSN Boston's Anaridis Rodriguez sat down with Brandon Klugman from Generation Citizen to discuss the effort to lower the voting age.
Taking a look at voter turnout in the last presidential election, 74% of Massachusetts voters cast a ballot compared to the national turnout rate of 55%. There's a new effort to increase these numbers starting at the town level. Brandon Klugman of the Boston-based Generation Citizen joins us now. Thanks for taking the time to come talk to us, Brandon. So I've done this story before. I've spoken to young people who are very passionate about this, and they say, look, I work, I pay taxes, I can be tried in a courtroom as an adult. Why can't I vote?
Absolutely, and I think they have tremendous points, and their voices are loud and clear on this topic. Another reason why we think it's a great idea to lower the voting age to 16 is that it can strengthen our democracy in the long run by contributing to an increase in voter turnout. We know that voting is a habit, and whether or not someone votes in the first election that they're eligible for goes a long way to determining whether they'll be a habitual voter or a habitual non-voter. And we know that 16 is a better time than 18 to establish that habit. The places around the country and around the world that have implemented 16-year-old voting have shown that 16 and 17-year-olds do turn out at higher rates than 18 and 19-year-olds, and it's a better time to build that habit of voting.
So at the local level, there are a number of towns and municipalities looking to lower the voting age here in Massachusetts: Northampton, Wendell, Somerville, Concord, and Brookline. 4 others have tried and failed: Ashfield, Shelburne, Lowell, and Cambridge. Now, Brookline will have a town vote on this next week. And here's why. The average 10-year turnout for municipal elections is 16%. Members of the select board say lowering the voting age will boost that number. Why are they saying that?
Exactly. So one of the reasons is that I think they're looking to the evidence from the municipalities in the United States that have already implemented this. There are 4 cities in the state of Maryland that have implemented 16 and 17-year-old voting on the local level. The first of those to do so, Tacoma Park, Maryland, has had 3 elections since they implemented the 16-year-old voting age. In each of those elections, the overall citywide turnout rate has been 22% or lower. In each of those 3 elections, the turnout rate for 16 and 17-year-old voters has been above 40%.
Oh, wow. That's a big difference.
It is. And so looking at that, I think there's very strong indication that this is an idea that can work really well on the local level.
But then there's another hurdle, right? So let's say Brookline passes this. They still need approval from the state. This made national headlines where soon after Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley was sworn in, she was pushing for this to happen at a federal level. And she put in a bill, or an amendment on a bill, on the floor in Congress. So what's happening here in Massachusetts?
Absolutely. So we were obviously encouraged to see Representative Pressley put that forward on the federal level, encouraged to see 7 members of the congressional delegation from Massachusetts support her proposal on the federal level. But what I'm most excited about is that right here in Massachusetts, there's currently a bill in the state legislature called the Empower Act. And if that bill was passed, what it would do is it would allow any city or town in Massachusetts to implement a 16 or 17-year-old voting age for their municipal elections if the local government votes to do so. So like you referred to those 4 cities and towns, Lowell, Cambridge, Ashfield, et cetera, who have approved of this on the local level, but been denied the opportunity to implement it because their requests to the state legislature were not approved. If the Empower Act is passed, which I'm very optimistic about, that would allow any city or town to have this debate locally. And if they do vote on a local level that they want to try this out, it would allow them to go ahead and implement it, just like we've seen those cities in Maryland do.
All right, Brandon from Generation Citizen, thank you so much for your insight and for being here with us. There are lots of ways to register to vote. You can register when you apply or renew for your driver's license at the RMV. You can head to your local town hall or log on to the Secretary of State's website at sec.state.ma.us.